back there. I don't know what he's doing, just wandering around.
He's going to make it happen.
All right.
Yeah.
If anything goes wrong.
We want to say hi to everybody that's watching on YouTube right now.
Yes.
We have an active chat going, so please weigh in. Different issues happening.
That's what this is about. We want people to ask questions, good questions, because a lot of times I forget.
Yeah, keeps it going, keeps the talk going.
But we do want to start with, just real quick, some of the top stories. If you switch over from us to see Fox 10 News at 4 and 5, what's going on there? Trenton, take it away.
A lot happening today. So biggest story by far is the Lori Daybell trial, the final one, final chapter. Justin Lum.
You promise?
Yes, our Fox 10 investigator, Justin Lum, is in court today. There was a little bit of controversy where Lori had asked on Monday to postpone trial because she was telling the judge she was under the weather. In fact, she was crying to the judge, begging him, please push it back.
Do you get sick days when you're a murder suspect?
Apparently so. Actually a convicted killer, which she is.
Good point.
Yes.
Good
so
point. All right.
we have that. And so Lori back in court. Justin just let us know a little bit ago that a jury has been seated in that case. So at 4 o'clock, we'll have the latest on what's happening there. Then let's move on to a shooting. Patchy Junction officer was shot on Monday during what was actually a road rage stop. That was the call. The officer right there was wounded. He is fighting in the hospital right now. Lauren Clark has been on the scene actually since the first day. She's going to have more at 4 o'clock on how that suspect obtained those weapons. There was some talk about possibly ghost guns coming into play. So really
meaning
stuff.
They get rid of the serial number and you don't know where it came from, right?
Correct.
Okay, right.
Correct. Weapons, don't know really how he obtained those. So we'll have that at 4 o'clock. Really interesting. Very busy day. So
okay. Well, you know what? Let's go out to our go-getter.
Yes.
Every day, especially on the weekends when you and I work. Nicole Krasean, she's here, she's there, East Valley, West Valley. Today it looks like she's just out at the lake having a good time.
I mean, it's a wonderful day out there, it looks like, Nicole.
It is a beautiful day, and I'm going to show you kind of my view behind me. I'm over at the Pebble Beach rec site, so it's busy. People starting to get off of work and come over. We've got a ton of people just hanging out in chairs, but you've also got people that are kayaking, tubing, of course, which you know is really popular out here. And that's really the reason why we're out here today. We got the opportunity to do a ride along on one of what I found out is only 2 airboats in the state that operate out of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and go out on search and rescue missions here at the Salt River. It's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful place to be, but it can also be dangerous if you're not careful. So that was kind of the mission when we came out here today. Doesn't hurt to put your feet in the water though, and enjoy the shoreline either though.
Beautiful. Hey Nicole, so I'm from Texas. I have ridden in a fan boat a time or two. How was that experience for you? And can you explain what a fan boat is for folks in Arizona without water?
Who aren't as used to it. So the airboat was awesome. So it's basically, and you'll see tonight at 9 and 10 in our story, you'll get to see kind of an up close look at it. But it's really not a large boat itself. But in the back, you've got, as you mentioned, this huge fan that just kind of propels it through the water. And the cool thing about these boats is that they work really well in like an inch or 2 of water, which is what is needed out here, because something else that people might not realize, the Salt River, there are places where it's only a couple inches deep, and then there are places where it's 30 feet deep. And it can change in like mere feet from each other. So these airboats, which again, I learned today, there's only 2 of them in the state that operate this way. So Maricopa County actually goes out and lends them to other counties when there's certain operations they need to go out on. They are made for this water out here. And it is so great because they said it's the perfect tool for any search and rescue. There's spots up front where you can do CPR, things like that. God forbid that happens too often, but it does happen. So the airboat, really cool. And I had been on one in Louisiana down in the bayou before. This was totally different because this was a lot more, it's very calm water down there. And here, there were times where we were going through a little bit of white caps. You can see behind me. It's not like it's white,
Why do I get the feeling that Louisiana airboats are a little like, more Miami Vice than our Arizona air? I'm just guessing. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, they
Intense.
are. And well, and the one I was on down there, I mean, we were going on a gator tour, so it was
Oh man.
right in the swamp,
Ho-
like. But
Hopefully,
that's a whole
yeah.
different
Hopefully, no
story.
gators today. Hey, I was going to ask you
No,
real
no gators.
quickly, Nicole. Are you by that
Yeah,
bridge, like to the? Okay, that
that
bridge.
one.
I
Yeah.
believe that one is that if that's the one near the parking area. I was out there. I can't remember
Yep.
now. A year or two
Hmm.
ago, where there was an old tree that had fallen, and people were getting
Oh.
caught up on the tree, and it was
Oh.
sucking them under.
Wow.
Now, I
Oh
do
gosh.
not believe this is, gosh, has it been 2 years? People were getting, I mean, it was a bad deal, and there were several dozens of them
Yeah.
stranded on the other side because of this whole tree was just taking people toward it. The wave of
Right.
the waves were, and they were getting sucked under. It was a whole big thing. I remember being out there. It had to be 120 degrees and
Of
and
course.
humid that day too.
Sure.
But I mean, are they kind of giving the all clear based on what you've seen? Because it's such a great popular thing
Yes.
to do. I hear buzzing about it, real popular with the college kids
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But there are some dangers, and they have had some problems in the past.
They have, and I'll tell you, yeah, it's pretty much all clear. Like we saw people out there all day today in tubes, on kayaks. You could see these guys going out to paddleboard. I want to try that. I think that looks so much fun. So and one of them's got his dog on there. We've seen dogs on there. We've seen little kids. So I would say, in terms of the all clear, like they're letting people come out here and do things. When we were going through, we went through a good decent portion of it, and there were some spots where there would be some branches overhanging. That's something they want people to be aware of. And there are some spots where you can get right up against some of the rocks right on the cliffside. So it's not like it's 100% a guarantee that you're not going to have to kind of navigate some waters that maybe aren't ideal. The One of the things that we're going to talk about in our story tonight is that some people think this is like a lazy river. It's not. Not at all. You're still working with water that is out here, a wild environment, and water that can switch up from day to day. So that's really something they want people to keep in mind, is that you got to respect the water, and you can't just assume that you're going to be able to float along and nothing's going to come in your way.
Yeah. Hey, Nicole, real quick, I know that
Yeah.
there might not be any gators, obviously, the Salt River,
Yeah.
maybe some wild horses. That's about it.
Yes.
But
We did see some of those. Yeah.
this weekend, you did cover a story with some dangerous animals, right? A cougar attack in the
Yeah.
West Valley.
Yeah, so we were over in the Verado area in Buckeye. And if people haven't seen this story yet, they have to check it out on fox10phoenix.com, because not only do we have video of some mountain lions slinking around in a neighborhood, but we also had confirmation that there was actually a man who unfortunately had to shoot and kill a mountain lion because it was attacking him and his dog. So, out
Yeah.
there's the victory steps that are really popular, really White Tank Mountains. It's a beautiful place to be out there, but it's a reminder that you're right up against there. And when you've got that urban sprawl, those animals, when they get desperate and they're hungry, they're going to come on down and see what they can get. They're going to
Okay.
look for food
Well,
sources, water sources,
hey,
things like
Nicole,
that.
hang with us real
Yeah,
quick. Let's take a look at some of that video of the
yeah.
mountain lions out there.
I never seen a mountain lion like no.
A mountain lion. Not what you're expecting to see on your way home from the neighborhood pool.
Look out for everybody, and whoever else we saw out after that, we were telling them not to walk back that way because the mountain lion was there.
Not only was a mountain lion recently spotted slinking around some Verado neighborhoods, but one was also spotted at the top of these popular victory steps.
By the time local sculptor Gary Lee Price saw the big cat, it was dead.
I'm going to the turnaround to come down and start hiking up the stairs, and the guy says, "Hey, there's a cougar up there." I'm like, "Holy crap." And then he said, "But it's dead off the side of the road." Got up there, turned around, and then I could see it right there on the road. So I stopped and, had to take a few pictures of it and stuff, and I've never seen a cougar.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, that was the real deal.
That on your Ring camera.
No
Yeah,
kidding. I was
yeah.
struck by how tall it was and how thin it was.
Yes, I think that was the big
Clearly
point.
looking for food, Nicole. Is that the theory?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anytime that you've got those neighborhoods nearby where you might find ponds or swimming pools, those water sources, and then, of course, the javelinas that hang out sometimes in the neighborhoods, the deer, the rabbits, those are all going to attract cougars. And unfortunately, I think that these two for whatever reason, weren't able to find the food they needed. And so they started coming into the neighborhood. So
Yeah. I know that.
Story.
I know that on Fox 10 Talks on Monday, Ron and Celeste actually talked with a wildlife biologist from U of A, who was exactly saying that because of the drought that we've had past couple of years, especially in the West Valley, there's just not enough to eat for these cougars going out the mountain lines. So.
And Nicole said we're keep encroaching on their turf.
Yes.
I couldn't, Nicole, you and I talked a little bit about feeling a little sorry for these, big cats because, they shouldn't be attacking humans, and that, of course, is awful. But you got to feel if they're desperate, and we're kind of on their turf, and I couldn't help feel a little bit bad for,
Oh, for sure. And I think that, I'm not going to lie, I was out there in Verrado, like looking up on Zillow. I mean, it's a great place to be out there, but I know that is a space that maybe even a decade ago, 15 years ago, they wouldn't have encountered any humans there. Right. So you just got to think about it from their perspective too, that wait a second, this used to be safe territory. So yeah, that's a good one to check out because it's informative, but also that video is pretty exciting to see some of that ring video and the car video that cute boy got when he was freaking out about the cougar.
I would too.
Definitely.
Nicole, a little known fact before you leave the lake.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still running because the past owners had hired me, 10, 12 years ago to shoot their safety video for them. It's the one up on the TV screens when you first get your inner tube. I thought, no problem. I'm gonna show up at the
We've got to find that
river
video.
and it's gonna be piece of cake. It was the hardest. I'm not in it. I'm just shooting it for this girl in a bikini, way cuter than me. But it was the hardest.
Saying the camera was kind of not focused on the safety
that had
part.
some. Yeah, it might not have been the best quality.
Places.
I did my best, but that was like the hardest shoot I've ever been on. I don't know if it's there. Let me know.
Crazy.
Let me know if you see it.
Well, need a steady cam.
And before we go, I did want to say we've got Matt here.
Matt.
And Matt always does a great job when he's out. He's my photographer today, and he's been out with me on a lot of these types of adventures. And he's got a 360 camera. So maybe you just needed one of those, Brian.
All right.
Welcome back to Fox 10 Talks. I'm Brian Webb with Trenton Hooker, and back by popular demand, Lindsay Regas, one of our great reporters here. And Lindsay, you had really touching story. Was it Friday night? And we just thought Lindsay needs to come in and talk about this because it was a tearjerker.
Yeah, it was a great story. So it was about a young woman who, it starts out sad. So she lost her dad a few months ago unexpectedly. But she's turning that into good now, and now the community is really coming out and showing their support, which is really nice. So she loves baking. So she started a company named after the nickname her dad gave her, and she's selling cookies, muffins, just baked goods on the side of the road, and she's just getting people's attention by waving them down with some signs. And she started posting on TikTok, and the first day she didn't get anyone. So she started showing all those TikToks, and then it was really getting that traction, and people were sharing it on Facebook, on Instagram, and we went out on her 4th day, I believe, and so many people were there that we couldn't even get an interview with her like right off the bat. So she starts from 6 o'clock to 7:30, 6 p.m. to 7:30, so just an hour and a half. And we get there a little early, and people are lined up waiting to buy from her. She didn't even have her table out yet.
Now she's raising money to hold on to the family land or farm or something?
So she's trying to save enough money to keep her dad's home. Wow. And that is the same home where she grew up in. It's also the same home where she found her dad, who was deceased. Yeah, she would check on her dad every few days. It was unexpected that he passed away. He wasn't feeling good. He was feeling a little sick, and she unfortunately had to walk into that. And it's been a rough few months for her, but really the baked goods selling and just seeing everyone come out and support her, it's helping her save enough money to keep that childhood home.
Well, I think we have a little bit of that. If we could play SOT 2 real quick.
Hope my daughters would do the same thing if something happened to me, to keep the house and everything going.
Many nights where I've just been crying to myself, and now I am crying happy because I know my dad's really proud, and he's looking down at me, and he's here with me right now.
Wow.
Touching stuff. And what a Herculean task to think, I'm going to save this house by selling one cookie at a time. But good for her. I mean, it just shows you can do anything you put your mind to, right?
Absolutely. And she sold out the day we were there. So I was trying to get an interview with her beforehand. That didn't work out. So many people were coming, which was great. I said, do your thing. We'll stay back. We'll get some video. And then there was, I don't know, maybe like 2 minutes I was able to squeeze in that interview that you saw with her. But I could see in the shadow there were people behind me waiting to purchase from her. So she sold out that day. It was awesome.
Get this reporter out of the way. I want to buy a cookie or two.
I know. I really was in her way, but it was so sweet. So not only are people buying, cookies from her, but they're leaving generous tips. They're leaving generous tips, and she also got 2 free mixers. So she's been doing everything by hand. She just started this business. She's new at it, doing everything by hand, and 2 people dropped off mixers for her. It was so sweet to see that.
I mean, we got a few people weighing in, so thanks, folks. Keep it coming. Just about what a wonderful story this is with Kaylee. Well, Kaylee Peterson.
She's here.
She's actually
with us.
here.
Hello.
Welcome to Fox 10 Talks.
Hey, Kaylee.
Thank you so much for having me.
You want to take it away, Lindsay?
I do. I want to take it away.
Do you want to give her?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Go ahead.
Kaylee, we're swapping
real
headphones,
quick.
so
bear with us.
Lindsay can hear you. Take
Hey,
it away,
Kaylee,
Lindsay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How are you doing since I've last seen you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
What has business been like? So you've been out there, Sauceman and Pecos, Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock to 7:30 p.m.?
Yeah.
How has business been?
It's been overwhelming. It's been so busy. It's been hard to keep up with it all, and it's just been really phenomenal. I'm really impressed with how I've been able to do it all. And juggle everything when it comes with motherhood and the business. So I've kind of proved to myself of a lot of things, and it's just been really, really successful so far.
You really are juggling it all, because I texted you earlier today and you said that you had a big batch and you need to be somewhere at 3:30. How many baked goods did you sell? What is that batch?
So that is for someone that works for Gateway Airport, and he ordered about $500 worth of things. And he gave me a short notice yesterday because he wanted to show me some things at the airport, and he wanted to show my son as well. So he said, don't worry about the order yet. I'll let you know when we get close to it or whatnot. And yesterday at 4 o'clock, he texted me. He said, I'm so sorry for the short notice, but I'm going to have some military jets here tomorrow if you'd like to come look. And I was like, well, yeah, like I'll get started on your order right now. But mind you, it's like 5 dozen cinnamon rolls, 10 different dozens of cookies. We've got 10 different things of like 2 different loaves of all kinds of stuff. And yes, I'm so happy I have two stand mixers that have been helping me so much. But when you have that big of an order and you only have, so many hours, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, woke up at 7 and juggling the kids and doing that. So I've been like a headless chicken. But it's been phenomenal. But yeah, he's got a really big order. And then tomorrow I'm going to be back out on Sauceman and Pecos. So I have a big order for that. And then Friday I'm going to a dealership, and then Saturday I'm going to a realtor's open house. So it's pretty chaotic, and it's amazing though, honestly. Thank you.
Wow. So definitely sounds like you got your work cut out for you there. Super impressive. But Kaylee too, I hear you're also obviously a mom. Family's extremely important to you. How is that with juggling both those tasks with, being a businesswoman and then jumping in with other responsibilities that you have? I mean, a lot of praise there.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's been a lot, but
I think we lost.
Did we forget to pay the internet bill?
We did.
Again.
You could
Trenton, that was your turn this month.
Okay, it has a postmark.
We're going to try to get Kaylee back here in a sec. Probably just a hiccup. But do you know how she came up with this idea? I mean,
so she loved to bake at a young age. So she said when her dad was working when she was younger, single dad, she would be home alone. So she started sewing, baking, and then when she moved out, her dad was the one who would taste test everything.
Sure.
Wow.
And yeah, so she's really doing this because she found the love for baking while she was with him. And the name of her business is Woogies. That's what her dad would call her. Just a silly little nickname, Woogies. I don't know the complete backstory behind it, but I know he had some fun nicknames for her kids as well.
I try to come up with nicknames around here all the time, and people don't like them. You got to be careful.
Lands you in HR. That's
We don't need.
Yeah. We have some good comments.
Little philosophy, saying her tenacity is amazing. She's definitely on the grind.
Mm-hmm.
Husky mom sounds like she's got a new business in the works. Good for her.
Yeah.
A lot of support here, but I mean, it just shows. Being a full-time mom is a full job, and the responsibility with that. But B, being a businesswoman to start that from scratch, I mean, it's really amazing when you see it happen.
I wonder she has so many different things she's going to, like kind of almost like catering, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if she envisions a day where she has a brick and mortar thing or a little pastry coffee shop thing, or maybe both. I don't know. I mean, it's just the sky's the limit. And she looks like she can't be 20 something.
I believe she's 23. I think that's what she told me. And you could see she has 3 kids. One of her kids I saw in the car just on the side, which is really cute. So she's juggling it all. And I think she will. She told us in our interview last week that this is something that she wants to keep doing moving forward, even after she reaches that goal, that money amount that she needs. She started a website where you can order on that website. So she's on TikTok, got her website. Yeah. She's doing it all. So I'm sure she'll open up a store.
Well, and the big thing is that she's trying to raise this $50,000.
Yes.
That goal. Yes. She has a GoFundMe. I know that she's taken in some money with that, but still has a little bit to go.
Do we know, does that pay off a mortgage or taxes? Do we know what that is exactly?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But I know she needs that to keep the home, but she's also going back there. He has dogs. So she's going back there every day to feed the dogs, and it's taking a lot of her time. So I'm not too sure what the goal is with that, but I know she eventually wants to be living in that home with her 3 children.
You know what struck me too about the story when I saw it is just kind of the sense that she's out there in the middle of nowhere,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's just like a dirt patch.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is exactly what you described. So when people are pulling up, you see that dirt. Oh, it looks like
Is she
we have
back?
her back. Yeah.
She's back. All right.
Kaylee, all right.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's it. That's all right.
It
comes with the
happens.
turf.
That's the beauty of the show. We keep going. So glad to get you back.
Let's get some questions in. We got a couple of minutes left,
Yeah,
Kaylee.
so we were just talking. You plan to keep Woojie's, right? Even after you meet your goal?
Yes. So it's been so successful that everyone's been coming back and for more treats. And so everyone's giving me such good feedback, and I'm so passionate about baking. And I really love spreading the word of my dad and how amazing he was. And I just love this story so much, and I can share it with everyone. And eventually I would like to, get a food truck or succeed really well in the bakery business. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to what comes.
Kaylee, I am the worst cook or baker or whatever. I've always had a suspicion to be a good baker. Does that just mean more butter, more sugar? Is that it? Or I'm sure there's more to it.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. There's all kinds of different measurements, and if you mess up on the wrong thing or put the wrong thing in it, it can completely change the consistency, the texture, and everything. So it's really important to make sure that you do good on everything.
Did Lindsay bring anything back for us that
So
day?
I wish
don't think there was a single thing brought back.
Okay, I wish I tried it, but I'm just going to praise Kaylee right now because you need to tell them what kind of baked goods you were selling. It wasn't like vanilla chocolate chip. Like, please tell them it was extravagant.
1 minute left,
amazing.
Kaylee. Run through your list for us and tell people where they can find you.
I'll run through it really quick. So we got the basics of cinnamon rolls and whatnot, but for the cookies, we've got really fun ones because of my dad. The cereal ones hold a story behind it, but I won't get into that. We've got Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, Oreo ones. We've got brown butter, sea salt chocolate chip. We've got Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Puffs, Frosted Flakes. I can do literally any cookie, but I love doing the cereal cookies because of my dad and I would do fun cereal combinations. It's a big part of my dad. But yeah, lots of fun things in the cereals or the cookies and all the other loaves and all kinds of stuff.
Kaylee, real quick, we're almost out of time, but if you can tell everybody where they can find you online too, that would be really helpful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I have a couple social medias. I go by woojies.bakery, so WOOJI.bakery. And then my social media.
Hey, you're watching Fox 10 Talks. I just want to welcome everybody back to the show. I'm Trenton Hooker, Brian Webb, and we have a very, very special guest today, Blake Neiman, newest member of the Fox 10 sports team. Blake, welcome.
That's right.
So
Glad
new,
to be here.
He was in college and working here at the same time. What a go-getter.
Amazing.
I mean, he's pushing old guys like
That's
us out.
the bar we're setting here at Fox 10
Yeah.
now. Really. If you can't match it, then can't keep
Get
up,
out.
right, Blake?
I guess. Glad to be
coming
here.
in, Blake.
Yeah, for sure.
What's I don't know. What's been the biggest surprise or thing you've liked since you? We can't. If in case our bosses are watching, maybe don't say the negative stuff too much. But
It's okay.
what's
They're not. So it's
they're not. Okay, good.
Right.
What's been the biggest surprise since you actually started doing this as a day job?
Ooh, that's a good question.
'Cause you're everywhere.
Yeah.
ASU's kind of your thing, though, right?
Right, yeah. I covered ASU for the last 3 years for SunDevilSource.com, and Chris Cartman over there, they do a great job. But since taking this job here, it's kind of just what I've been doing, but now I get to kind of cover all the Valley sports teams. So it's I really love it because I'm a big variety, go-getter, on-the-go, energetic guy. So being able to bounce from Cardinals to D-backs to Mercury to Suns to ASU, like getting to have a day where you're going from Cardinals in the morning or ASU in the morning to Suns or Mercury at night, I mean, that's just the dream. So I'm super blessed.
And you're how old?
I am 20.
So awesome. So awesome.
20. I don't even know if I could tie my shoes.
Do you remember
when I
being
was
20?
What was I doing at 20?
Barely.
It wasn't very productive, I'm sure.
No, definitely not.
Just scraping to get by.
Right. Well, so Richard Sines was
Yeah.
here last week.
The man.
Told us a little bit of a story about, every year, of course, he gets with college freshmen, those starting off in their academic career, especially with an interest in sports journalism and broadcast, and remembered a really go-getter who was asking a lot of questions and had a conversation with a younger Blake Neiman of what are you wanting to get into, and can you walk us through that? Like, did you always have the dream of kind of, I want to go into TV sports?
Yeah, I won't say it was the dream since day one. I mean, I was an athlete for all my childhood. Grew up playing sports.
What'd you play?
I was a tri-sport athlete in high school. Played football all 4 years. Was a wrestler all 4 years, and a baseball player all 4 years. So I was constantly playing sports. I grew up in a small town, Philomath, Oregon, about 4,000 people, just outside Corvallis. So with a graduating class of only 77 people, you kind of had to play all sorts of sports. So I did that. But once the pandemic hit, I kind of was at a crossroads of like, okay, I'm 5'6", like 165. I'm not going to play Division I sports. But I took this broadcast media class despite my small school size, and that kind of was interesting to me, and I paired that with sports. And then so with Oregon, the COVID restrictions were pretty heft. So for a year, I was like pretty much on online school. So I started this YouTube channel called Blake's Take, hence my handle, Blake's_Take2. And I made like daily sports reports video of like national and local sports. And I made like 400 videos between my junior and senior year on YouTube. And then that just kind of caused my passion to fall in love with sports broadcasting.
We got a couple people in the chat. So Little Philosophy says, I remember he said he wanted to get into it because he gets to go to the games for free.
That is a plus, and the free food, I will say.
And not even free, as Richard Sines will remind you. You get paid to go to the games.
Yes.
What was that first paycheck like when you saw that sucker?
Yes.
Was that a nice little?
Well, that was definitely nice. I mean, when you're living in college and you're
Right.
living on breadcrumbs and dorm food, it's like,
I got some money to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not everybody kind of has that idea of, I'm kind of, COVID's going on. There's not a lot happening, especially with internships, opportunities that kind of would have been there the traditional route before.
Yeah.
But you kind of made your own opportunity with starting your own YouTube page, obviously, and your channel and your social media. Talk about that real quick with that thought process.
Yeah, I mean, we have our phones, right? That's all I used. I didn't have a camera. I just used my iPhone, and I bought like this tablet teleprompter, and I just operated my own teleprompter. It was my spare bedroom on my house, set up a green screen that I bought for like $50, and I just made sports videos. I had Premiere because that's what the editing software my high school used, and I just used what I had and made the most of it.
Here's what I want to know. I've seen some of your stories. I mean, you've been breaking a lot of good stories with ASU that trace back to Oregon. But the way you tell your stories, I'm like, that guy knows what he's doing. I mean, it took me, I'm still working to try to be the storyteller that you already seem to be. How did you, I mean, did you just watch other people and emulate them in the beginning? Did it just click from early on? Something's up, because it took me decades to figure out how to tell a good story, and you've already got it.
Well, I definitely did look up to a lot of people, but I also will say I think it's kind of just a God-given gift I have. It's kind of what I felt like I was meant to do. But I definitely looked up to a lot of mentors who went to Cronkite, because Cronkite's produced some very good people out of there. Scotty Gange, who works in Denver now, Chancellor Johnson, who worked in Houston. Jake Garcia even was one of my mentors. He works at a rival station now, 12 News, but all those guys were super helpful, and their storytelling is super good, and I just took bits and pieces from kind of the style they edit and the ways they told stories using nap breaks and stuff like that, and then I kind of just formed my own style.
Well, so, being in class and, reading in a textbook or watching, the videos and the instructions, that's one thing, but I think we all know that in this business too, there's so much that you don't learn in class, that you have to go out there and you just have to do it. Walk us through that with like filling in some of those gaps where you had to teach yourself how to do some of these things, trial and error.
Well, I would definitely say I feel like that's the difference maker with Cronkite, is that unlike other journalism schools, Cronkite, I was in the field doing reports, operating a camera I didn't even know how to use within 2 weeks of getting on campus. So these student organizations that they have, the Walter Cronkite Sports Network was huge for my development, Blaze Radio. I was calling basketball games and doing reports and making packages within a month, and I didn't even know what I was doing, but I had like peers that were helping me out and helping me learn so fast. And so the hands-on in-field experience and the access that ASU athletics provided for us to do that as students was so huge for my development, and I got so much hands-on experience in college that it made the transition to here at Fox 10 super seamless, because it was kind of already what I was doing. And
now at your ripe old age, you're someone who people look up to now. I mean, you made the leap from, back in my day, that was a while ago, but you had to start maybe in a Yuma, then maybe you went to Tucson, then maybe you went to Phoenix, but you just went lickety-split right there.
I'm super blessed. I mean, all the people at Fox 10, thank Mark Malich, thank Steve Levi, thank Richard Sines, like so many endless people to thank for giving me this opportunity. Brad Gass, our photographer, I wouldn't even known about this job.
The legend.
I wouldn't even known about this job if he didn't tell me it was open.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Brad Gass is the absolute man.
Yeah. I think I'll go look that up online and apply, maybe.
I did it that night, the night you told me I applied.
Did they? Were there any? Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, you got a little bit of recognition for this, right? Just recently. At the if we can pull up, the graphic right there, All-American team.
Yeah.
Blake, explain this real quick.
Awesome. So this is the Sportscasters Talent Agency of America. John Chalesnik does a nice job over there. So essentially there's this All-American program, the Jim Nantz Award All-American program. It's kind of like the Heisman of college sports broadcasting, the Jim Nantz Award. I didn't win the award. I was a finalist for it. Ended up getting first team All-American honors, but it kind of recognizes the best college sports broadcasters around the country. So very blessed and grateful to be included amongst that group of wonderful peers.
Yeah, awesome.
Look at the big brain on. That's good. And what are your parents? What do your friends back home say? I mean, they must be pretty impressed, whether they want to admit it or not. Your friends.
No, my parents are my biggest supporters. They watch all the stuff on Fox 10 that I do and watch all my stories, and they're super great. I'm actually going to go back home this weekend to watch my brother graduate high school. Big accomplishment for him. So a couple graduates in the family. It's funny because I'm only 3 years older than him, but I graduated in 3 years from ASU, so I got my degree before he got his diploma. So I kind of get bragging rights for that.
Well, hey, we got a little bit of time left, Blake, if you want to hang with us real quick.
Cool.
So you're a younger man, obviously, a younger generation, but Do you each night call your buds just to wish them good night?
Oh, this trend, no.
It is a trend,
I do not partake in this trend.
Have you ever even heard of that?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
You've-
Yeah,
Okay.
I've
You
seen
think
it.
it's legit though that people are really doing this, or is it just kind of?
No, I think people are actually like,
Yeah.
doing it as like a prank, but like I don't think people actually do it like night, bro. or
But
whatever.
but it caught on more as a prank than a real thing. You think?
I think it's just a prank.
Let's watch a little bit of that if we could. Play that song.
It's just calling to wish you good night because it's 8:43.
To wish me good night because it's 8:43.
Yeah, you getting ready for bed?
Yeah.
All right, love you, man.
You alright, bro?
Yeah, just calling to wish you good night.
Hey, what's up, bro? I'm just calling to say goodnight, man.
What do you mean?
Just calling to say goodnight.
Who told you to say good night?
I just me. I just decided I can't go to bed without saying goodnight.
You okay, man?
I'm okay,
You
bro.
being held hostage?
Not being held hostage at all.
I'm calling to tell you that I'm going to bed.
Okay. Why are you calling me?
I just felt like, the homies should know, like, when I'm about to go to bed and stuff.
I'm crying laughing, dude.
Wow.
Because it's like the guy who calls, like the other guy goes, "Is something wrong?" I mean, why
Yeah.
would you
I mean,
be
you can
calling?
call
Exactly.
it at
It's
night.
so random, right? It's so random.
Yeah, it's got to be something.
I mean, if I call one of my, well,
When you call,
yeah,
yes.
I do have one friend, my college roommate, who says "I love you" at the end of each phone call, which at first was like,
I think the question is what happened in college, Brian?
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, let's not go there. But that took me a while to get used to. But even then, we don't say goodnight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This
I
is-
mean,
How close is your friendship?
Maybe we're starting a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the thought that counts. I mean, Michael Obi, if you want to weigh in. Here,
yeah, let's get Michael
Well,
Obi in, definitely.
I certainly don't want you to have a bad night. So,
Yes.
but if I called my friends and said, have a good night, they would have a similar reaction. And I think when somebody's going through some sort of mental episode, you just look for abnormal behavior. So I think asking the question, are you okay? Why are you calling me? Is another way of saying good night. Like, I'm concerned for you.
Yeah.
Well, who's the one with the mental health problem, the caller or the callee?
Well, it's a joke, so nobody's actually. Thankfully, nobody's going through anything.
I feel like it's kind of catching fire now, to where people are kind of getting it's a joke.
Well, I have to say, in full disclosure, there were plenty of news stations that attempted to make this into a very serious story. And the growing
and abnormal
the
behavior.
loneliness
I
of
mean,
pandemic.
we're the
Have we
epicenter of that.
Have we covered bad nights enough?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
It's an epidemic across the country.
Right.
All right,
I think we had
guys.
the Surgeon General. Hey, welcome back to Fox 10 Talks. I have a very special guest here with Brian and I, Isabella Fredrickson.
She's actually our newest employee here.
1 month
She
officially
beat Blake
this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Blake's like old timer now.
Right, I know. Yeah,
Like
he's so yesterday's news.
Yeah,
in
right.
this segment.
Oh.
But no, let's get into it real quick with a really interesting story that happened last week.
Yeah.
We take a little serious tone for a second, but there were 2 teens, right? 117, 118,
Mm-hmm.
who were camping over Memorial Day weekend, right? In
Right.
the forest, Tonto National Forest,
Mm-hmm.
Near Payson, right?
Yeah, Mount Ord area.
They were found shot to death.
Yes.
It happened, but
Mhm.
a lot of twists and turns in this case. But
Yeah.
can you explain to us real quick about how all this developed and kind of the story's taken on a life of its own, really?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion and unanswered questions that we're all still waiting. Was there other people? Was there a group of them? I mean, they found just those 2. A lot more questions are being brought up, especially on social media. A lot of people are commenting, some of their classmates. I mean, there's a lot we don't know.
What kind of things are you seeing?
Found.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Online, what do you?
Yeah, I did a social video for TikTok, and obviously speculation, but a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I live in this area. There might be a serial killer running around." So there's a lot of interesting things being said. One person commented they were in that same area and they were shot at back in 2022. Someone else said they were camping in 2023 and they haven't returned because they were out there and they got shot at. So, I don't know if it's hunters trying to hunt elk. Like, there's just so many unknowns.
Yeah. Well, can you talk about that a little bit for us about, it's definitely in the social media age,
Mhm.
stories that maybe would have been in Brian and I's day more on the tabloid section of the checkout,
Mhm.
and that's kind of where they would have lived on the
Right.
speculation. Now they just live 24/7 on social
Right.
media,
Mhm.
and it's ins and outs and directions that really you're like, whoa, how did it get there? Like, how
Right.
did we take this route? But what's your thought as a journalist, kind of seeing some of those comments and some of those theories that might be out there a little bit and kind of reining it back in to be like, hey, folks, here's the facts. Here's what we know.
Right. I do think I appreciate this platform to do my best to tell just the facts and what's happening without the bias. On social media, you'll see a lot of people, whether they're friends of these people or someone who's living over in Alaska and they have no idea what's going on. But in this day and age on social media, anyone can make a video and anyone can put whatever information they want out there. And it's not necessarily fact checked. It's not necessarily true. Those videos are getting thousands of millions of views. They're going viral. And then the misinformation just spreads like wildfire. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that I can make these videos too using our information we've gotten from our reporters, and we've fact checked it, we've gotten it from credible sources, and that I could put those videos out, and that helps with putting the facts out there, not the misinformation.
There was a time I was a while ago. I was worried that our job would just be deflecting misinformation
Mhm.
and reading tweets, and that would end up being our news. And I don't know. Do you notice once a story that's hot like this goes down the rabbit hole, does it finally just hit an end point, or does it just explode with craziness because somebody wants it to keep going?
Yeah, well, the story we were just talking about, the one I put on TikTok, there was still people commenting on it like 30 seconds before I popped up on here. I actually had to turn my notifications off because there's over 500 comments and just the reposts and the retweets. So it's good because with the retweets, more eyes are seeing it, so more of the correct information is getting out. But there's no way for me to filter the comments, so obviously there's a lot of comments, but I think that it's a good way to spread the information out because not as many people turn on the cable, not as many people will watch a newscast, but with especially the younger generation, when they go to their phone and they type in, 2 teens found shot in the mountains, thankfully, like, my video will come up and they can get the correct information that way.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're making kind of a good point here because, like Brian, I remember when social media was starting to come out onto the scene and, being in a newsroom where at first we really didn't know what to make of this, where we were like, is this going to be kind of a citizen journalism thing? Because, blogs were kind of the big factor in before social media of people trying to do citizen journalism,
Yeah.
which definitely there's a place for that. But with social media and the advent of that, like Brian was mentioning, it's kind of like, well, are we just going to react to this and it's going to be an endless cycle that's going to play out? But I think it's been interesting, at least watching the last month, with how you've taken these stories where really at Fox 10, we're taking the news to where these conversations are happening. You know, like you just mentioned, where people are talking about these things online. There's a lot of buzz there. There's interest there where we wouldn't have that interaction with, say, a traditional broadcast necessarily, where it'd be a one-way, you know, street on that. And how's that been for you with having that interaction and having direct feedback with folks?
You know, I think just having access to like those comments, those interactions on the videos that are getting a lot of attention, I think it almost makes me a better reporter. Someone had commented something interesting on one of those videos, and it was from a former classmate, and they were like, oh, you know, I actually heard this from this person, and not that there's any credibility to it, but I was able to bring it up in our afternoon meeting, and or our morning meeting, sorry.
Yeah.
And
do you push back on stuff like that online, or do you let it go? Because that would be an endless.
I just let it go. I haven't commented back to anyone, but it's like, you know, this person who claims they know something, they're not emailing to our Fox 10 Phoenix newsroom email to say, oh, I have this information.
Right.
But they're commenting this stuff on my videos. So I think it at least gives us that second platform.
Yeah.
Or there might be a deeper story here. There might be more information, and I have this insight on my video.
Well, Husky Mom has a question for Brian real quick. Do you find reporting and research is more difficult today's day versus years ago and how it was?
I would say no. I mean, the internet, boy, everything's just right at your fingertips, right? And if you go to a legitimate source, you can try to at least get the ball rolling. But then you still have got to go to the news makers and talk to them and put it together. I mean, I think back in the days where we used to have a map book to get to the street, and you'd have to cross-reference, like you didn't put it in GPS. You were just winging it, and there were no cell phones. You had to find a payphone. So all those weird things are now gone and have been made easier with technology. Technology gets weird with stuff like we were just talking about, where you go down the rabbit hole, and I just try to avoid all of that, because I don't want it seeping into my brain and taking me with it, you know?
Right. Well, and nothing beats that shoe leather journalism, the face-to-face interaction, and actually hearing from
you got to knock on the door. You got to go do it.
Yeah. Well, and Little Philosophy makes a good point. Got to be careful with the fake account and bots.
For sure.
It's so prevalent out there.
Great job. Thanks for coming and talking to us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Hey, happy 1 month.
Our newest employee.
Any more to come.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Okay, well, let's get in Robby Baker
Robby
real
Baker.
Quick. Shuffling everybody.
There's some big news in the sports world.
Boom.
Does anybody here on set have a connection to Michigan State? Because you may be qualified to work in the Suns front office. I'm kidding. We have fun.
Is that how it goes?
We have fun.
Oh, there's some. Is this considered breaking news?
It's
At what
breaking
point?
news today.
Okay, let's
talk
go.
about it.
Hit me with it.
Yeah, Jordan Ott. This is according to multiple reports. The Suns haven't sent anything out yet, but multiple reports say that Jordan Ott, there he is, you see on the screen, will be the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns. This is what we anticipated. He's going to be a first-year head coach. You see, he's been an assistant in a couple stops. When he was in Brooklyn with the Nets, he was actually under Suns legend Steve Nash when Nash was the coach there in Brooklyn. Jordan Ott is qualified to be a head coach. He was interviewed for other jobs in the past. He was interviewed with the Charlotte Hornets a few years ago. This is nothing against Jordan Ott. And honestly, as a Suns fan myself, I think all Suns fans hope this works out. His background reportedly is more kind of player development, connecting with players and creating those relationships, which is something that the Suns have kind of lacked in the last couple years. But the Michigan State-sized elephant in the room will be his connection to Michigan State, which is Matt Ishbia, Michigan State guy, big donor. The general manager, Brian Gregory, that was promoted from within about a month ago, a Michigan State guy. Now they hire the Michigan State, not like a former coach, but a connection to Michigan State, Jordan Ott. So
did he go to school there?
He was an assistant, a video coordinator under Tom Izzo. So that is going to be the big question, I think, once we finally get a chance to meet Jordan Ott in a press conference setting is how this all kind of came about. Because Brian Gregory, said as much in his introductory press conference that his connection to Michigan State connected him to Matt Ishbia, and that kind of how, that all happened with him becoming the general manager of the Suns. So it'll be interesting to see how this all played out.
And am I wrong that Devin Booker had a big part in this?
That's
to
what
get him.
reportedly Devin Booker was involved
Mhm.
with the coaching
Mhm.
search, which is what you want. They're going to build around Devin Booker. We expect Kevin Durant's going to get traded this offseason, start the rebuild process a little bit. Bradley Beal probably will be gone too. Devin Booker is the guy they're going to build around. You want him to be involved, and reportedly he kind of gave the quote-unquote stamp of approval to this hire. So that's good news.
Because this is fourth coach in 4 years.
Well, this will be their fourth coach in 4 years, and if
Wow.
I am only a journalist, so I'm not good at math, but I believe this is Devin Booker's 7th or 8th head coach in his NBA career. It's pretty much been every couple years.
And the
he's
money
gone
that
through a head coach
that we
so.
still owe coaches goes
They're
like
paying
the national debt level.
Yeah, they could use some cuts there probably. I think Monty I think is offset because he got hired by Detroit afterward. But then Vogel and Budenholzer, and then now they'll be paying Jordan Knott to actually be the coach.
Real quick, is this, I guess if you're an assistant, any head coach job is probably sought after, but is this seen as like, I don't know if you want to go there, man? I mean,
I think as much as there has been trouble the last couple years with the Suns in terms of not reaching their championship potential and trying to reach certain players on the roster maybe, there's only 32 of these jobs. It's an opportunity to coach an NBA team, to coach a player like Devin Booker, and whatever coach ultimately we saw Monty Williams almost get there. 2 wins in the NBA Finals. They were 2 wins away from delivering a championship here. Whatever coach ultimately becomes the coach to win the franchise's first NBA title, they will never have to buy a drink or food in this town ever again. They will go down in history here.
Right.
They'll build the statue the second the finals is over.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, Robbie, I know that you have your show coming up this evening. Tell us about that real quick. What else can we expect besides obviously this news today with the Suns?
Yeah, so at 6:30 we'll be doing our Fox 10 Talk Sports. Richard's on vacation this week, so I'm sitting in doing that tonight, and we will dive in deeper to Jordan Ott, kind of his resume, what kind of got him here. Our buddy Flex from Jersey is going to weigh in as well, kind of give his insight. He kind of told us that this was the direction it was going to go. A first-year head coach, a younger guy to kind of resonate with this team. Real quickly, another just kind of funny wrinkle on this. Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavs, Rocket Mortgage.
Yes.
Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, United Wholesale Mortgage, I think.
Sure.
They're mortgage kind of rivals.
A little
funny
dab
that
there.
he hired one of the assistants from Dan Gilbert's team. You know, a little
Gosh.
funny wrinkle there.
Things get weird, don't they? Who's going to win the championship, NBA?
I got to root for Oklahoma City. Lou Dort, former Sun Devil, got to pull for OKC.
Well, that's great. So coming up tonight, 6:30.
6:30, we're going to talk much more Jordan Ott.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, love it. Well, thanks for...